Green Living at Home is brought to you by Nedbank. Make things happen.
So far, we've had a look at the design and green elements of Brad Clark's off-the-grid eco home, and we've explored the various parts of his organic garden. Today, we're heading inside to find out what additional green features Brad's adopted for his interior design.
The general use of finishes and materials in the house is what architects and designers like to call an honest use. So there's very little applied finish to it. So where we've got concrete floors, we've got concrete. The timber floors that we're sitting on at the moment are part of the structure. And as you can see at the end of the house, we've wrapped the floor going up the wall in like a timber tsunami. What that helps us do is make a small space look a lot bigger.
Brad's used a lot of glass for the living areas of the home. This allows the house to be integrated into its surroundings and offers beautiful views no matter which way you look. It also helps cool the house during summer.
So we also try and control temperature and things like that within the house using design rather than mechanical stuff like air cons. So we've got cross ventilation in the whole house. So at the moment, the whole house on the ground floor here has 4 opening panels just in this area here that are directly opposite each other. So for cooling and ventilation, they really work really well.
To keep costs down, Brad opted not to go with double glazing. Instead, he's gone for a rather novel way of insulating the living space during winter.
I've integrated the curtains in the house are an integral part of the building fabric. So the lining of the curtains is a neoprene. It has a neoprene lining. Neoprene is the same material that they make wetsuits out of, so it's an extremely good insulator. So we've got quite a heavy curtain, and on the back of that we have a neoprene lining, and when we draw those curtains it creates a very good insulating seal.
The fireplaces in the home were carefully selected for their efficiency, and they're strategically placed to maximize their heating properties.
That style of fireplace is pure practicalness. So I mean, like we've discussed before, we use the invader trees to heat the house. So it's an extremely efficient way of heating a house if you're using a fire. It's enclosed and it's a convection fireplace. So what it does is the plates on it are quite loose, so they stand away from the main firebox, and it draws heat around and creates a convection, which distributes the hot air very quickly in the house. So it heats up a space very quickly. And then also having it freestanding like that, if you have a built-in fireplace, you lose a lot of your heat into the 4 walls around it. Whereas this one, all the heat generated by the firebox and that goes up the chimney has an opportunity to heat your space. So it's a very efficient way of heating the space.
As he only has access to the electricity he generates himself with his photovoltaic panels, Brad's had to find ways to minimize the power requirements of the home. A simple way to do this is to switch to the right light bulbs.
Inside the house there's a couple of different variations of lamps or globes that I've gone for. Predominantly I've got a 220 volt low voltage type LED, which is a 5-watt fitting in warm light. It's not a sharp daylight kind of light, and they dominate my lighting philosophy within here. Within some of the fittings we have got some low energy saving bulbs, and they're really in the minority in the house. And then we've got a couple of fluorescent tubes to light things like the curve behind me, which we really only use when we want to create serious atmosphere in the house and things like that. When we were kids and we were growing up, the old traditional light bulb that you used to get, our parents used to buy in 60 watts or 30 watts or 120 watts. Now, I mean, down here, if I turn all the lights on, I'm probably at about 180 watts. So that's 3 light bulbs using the same amount of power that I've probably got 20 light bulbs down here using.
Brad's also had to adjust the way he buys household appliances. It's no longer so important how they look, but rather how much energy they draw.
We don't just buy by aesthetics, we buy by wattage. So I mean, most appliances, if you check on the appliance somewhere, there's going to be a little steel plate that'll tell you how much power gets used. And you just need to check on that. So things like fridges, it's not really just the power that they use, but how well they're insulated. So the little fridge that you see behind me has got a normal power consumption, but it's got incredibly good insulation.
Brad and his family recycle all their kitchen scraps into their compost heaps, but they take recycling a little further than that.
We are a little bit of bunny huggers, so we do recycle paper, we recycle plastic, we recycle glass, and we recycle any batteries that we use. I mean, batteries to me are one of the biggest sins that there are when they get thrown around in the veldt, because they corrode and they rot out and they have all kinds of nasties in them that find their way into your soil and into your, the borehole water and things like that. So we're quite diligent in how we recycle those, and it takes a little bit of effort. We have to drive them up to one of the garages close to us where there's a recycle spot and dump our plastic and things there. And it's amazing how little other refuse you will produce if you recycle like that. And it's amazing how much recyclable stuff you do use as a consumer.
Another key element of a green interior design is to not constantly buy new, mass-produced items of furniture, but rather to reuse or repurpose old furniture wherever you can.
Yeah, it's something that we've done over here in the bathroom, where we've taken a second-hand table and chopped it in half and made 2 vanities out of it. So the lower section of this vanity over here is the table. Then I've just cast a concrete slab outside in the garden, put an inexpensive basin on the top and some garden taps with some copper pipes. And we have a very inexpensive and kind of something that has a bit of context in the house out of a second-hand piece of furniture.
Going green doesn't mean giving up all the little luxuries in life. You just have to be a bit smarter about how you get them. We creatures of comfort. So we also like having things like hot towels and things when we bath. So it's just a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek way of creating a towel rail where you harnessing kind of free energy to do it. So as we run the hot water into our bath, it circulates through there like a radiator and heats and dries your towel as you have in your bath. So it's a little bit of a cheeky use of the energy. There are dozens of ways to live a greener life at home. Ways to green your house, your garden, and your interior. Every small change you make helps the environment in the long run, whether it's the smallest thing like switching to energy-efficient light bulbs, or the biggest thing like generating all your own electricity. They all have their place in helping us work towards a greener future.
I think the nice thing about if you're heading down that road is it's a fairly long road that you're going. And it's quite flustering to see all the elements that we've put together here and think that you've got to do that from day one. There's kind of steps and processes you can do to get you down that road in kind of a less than a one-hit wonder. And there are little things that you can do to get you to your final goal. The important thing is to start taking those steps.
Green Living at Home is brought to you by Nedbank. Make things happen.